Hello, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to explain what these blocks do, and there are 9 of them, yeah. So in this video I'm going to explain the motion blocks. If you haven't watched part 1 of Scratch coding, where I teach you how to use Scratch to make games, fun games, yeah, then you should watch it right now. It's called Scratch Coding, Part 1, What is Scratch? So if you've already watched this video, then you can already just move on to this video, yeah. So, yeah. There are a lot of blocks in Scratch which allow you to do different things. Compared to other coding, like websites or programs or whatever, Scratch doesn't really have that many movement things, but if you combine the movement blocks together, you just get a whole new like, program of movements. For example, if I just did move 10 steps, you can see the Scratch cat dude. He moves 10 steps. Very simple. But if I do move 10 steps and turn 15 degrees, right, then this is what happens. Oh, okay, that looks weird. See, it becomes a whole new algorithm of blocks. An algorithm of blocks is basically just a bunch of blocks put together to make, kind of a new block. So you can see here, yeah. There's also turn left 15 degrees. And if you put this here, let's just drag the Scratch cat to the middle, you get this. Oops, I have to click this. Since I'm doing turn right and turn left 15 degrees, they balance each other out, so you can't actually see the cat turning right or left 15 degrees. Anyways, let me explain what these blocks do. So, move 10 steps essentially moves the cat 10 steps, yeah. And it also changes the X position. No, wait, it doesn't do that. So move 10 steps basically just moves the cat 10 pixels in whatever direction he's facing. So he's facing the direction 90 right here. So he'll just move 10 pixels in the direction 90. Very simple. Turn right 15 degrees is also very simple if you've learned your math. So 15 degrees is like what? Something, let's see. Oops. Yep, you get the spinning wheel thing. Yeah, so, in total, in a revolution, there are 360 degrees. I hope you already know your angles and stuff. Otherwise, that's going to be pretty disappointing for your parents if you don't know your angles. There's also turn left 15 degrees, which is very self-explanatory. And there's go to random position. Okay, I'll just drag the blocks I already explained over here. Go to random position basically just allows a cat to go to a random position. But you can see here's a drop down menu. So the main part of the block is go to. It's not go to a random position. So you can choose, for example, it goes to the mouse pointer. My mouse pointer is out of, this stage. So the cat just goes as close as it can without actually going on to here, which is where you put your blocks to make your algorithm or game. Anyways, so if I add another sprite, for example, let's just add another sprite. Say a ball, okay. You'll see a new, okay, that takes a long time to load. Okay. You will see a new item on the drop down menu will appear, which is go to ball, which is a new sprite you've added. So, if you click on this now, it just goes to the ball. Very self-explanatory, as long as you understand what a drop-down menu is. There's also a block which allows you to set the X and Y position. And as I explained in my last video, X is left and right, Y is up and down. For example, if I do go to X0, Y0, it goes immediately to the center. Compared to whether if I do x equals 10 and y equals 0, it kind of just moves 10 steps. The reason why it's still not moving is because it's already in the position x equals 10 and y equals 0. So if I just do this again, it will just go to the same position where it was already in. But if I drag it over here, it will go over there again. And if I click on it again, you see it just doesn't move because it's already at that position. There's nothing to do. There's also glide 1 sec to a random position. So, it's kind of like go to, but instead you see it doesn't change the position of the cat, the direction of the cat. It simply just makes, for example, the center of the cat just glide to a random position. Gliding to a random position is basically just changing your x and y position through, but not immediately, over time, which is why they have this part here, which allows you to set the amount of seconds it has to glide over there. Anyways, I'm taking too long explaining these blocks. There's also glide 1 second to a set position. For example, and if I click on this block, it goes to the center because x equals 0 and y equals 0 makes it go to the center of the stage. Like glide 1 second to a random position is kind of like the drop down menu on go to whatever position. Interesting. There's also a block which points the cat in a certain direction. So there are different types of blocks, or effects that the blocks have. The first effect is setting a certain value. The second effect is changing a certain value. For example, if I set, let's just make up a variable. If I set the amount of apples you are eating to 10, you'll eat 10 apples. Obviously, you wouldn't actually eat 10 apples. It's just imaginary. But if I change the amount of apples you're going to eat, which is 10, by 1, then now you have to eat 11 apples. If I change it by -1, it's now 9, because, negative plus positive equals positive minus whatever number the negative has. There's also, you can simply set the x position, not the y position. This block my mouse cursor is hovering over is setting the x and y position. So there's the difference. And as I said, yes, there are also, changing blocks with different effects like changing and setting. I already said that. Anyways, there's also this block which is point towards mouse pointer. For example, if I do this. Alright, I connected all these codes together, so it points towards my mouse pointer. Because this block is not in a forever loop, it only works in a time frame of 1 frame, which is something half a second or something, I don't know. There. And there's also another interesting motion block, which is called if on edge bounce. Basically, it's like a sequence of blocks packed into one block. It's basically just if the sprite touches the edge, the direction will flip itself over. For example, if I use this block and the direction is -121, which it is right now, then basically, since when it touches the edge, it flips over the direction. If I do this block, I'm pretty sure it will minus the amount of, so basically if I put it here, it will just change it by around 90 degrees, I think. Yeah, it will basically do that. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But let me just make a quick algorithm. To explain what it kind of does. So you can see it's actually bouncing from wall to wall. It looks pretty cool, actually. But this is boring because it basically repeats what it's doing every time it bounces off a wall. So, if on edge bounce should only be used in simple games. Like, very simple games. Okay, there's also another one, which is setting the rotation style. You can't change the rotation style because there are letters in here. Here's the thing you should learn when you're coding. So when you use variables or anything, you have to understand that you can't mix a variable, for example, a number with a letter or a word. It's kind of self-explanatory why you can't do that. Here's another one. If I do set rotation style left, right, basically it can only turn left and right. It can't turn like this direction where it's pointing negative 59 degrees. It can only turn 90 degrees and negative 90 degrees. If I do don't rotate and I click on it, then it can't rotate at all. It goes back to, wait, what? It doesn't rotate at all. Basically, it doesn't change the direction at all. If I do all around, it can change the direction to any direction it wants. Oh, oops. I have to click on this block. Yeah. Now, if I set it to don't rotate, and I try to rotate it by spinning around this wheel, it doesn't rotate at all. But here's the thing. If you do don't rotate, but then you do, say, move 10 steps, the direction is negative 176. So it'll still move in the direction negative 176, although the sprite itself won't show that it's pointing in the direction negative 176. There's also inputs, which basically inputs are like variables. Oh, well, okay, interesting. So you can see here, you can see the variable of this input, which is the x position is currently negative 1.7157483445762232. It says negative 2 here, but this one is rounded up. So this one is rounded, whereas this one is completely accurate. For example, if I put x position inside here, this other circular thingy, it's an input now. So basically, if I do this, I set the rotation style to don't rotate, which means yes, it can't point in the direction it wants to point in. But I also move x position steps. Instead of just setting a normal number, you can put in an input. That is very, yeah. There's also an input for y position and an input for direction. Inputs are very, like, crucial when you're making a game. Because, for example, you might want to know, hey, if the x position is 0, then you win. But how are you supposed to do that? So you can go into control. Inputs are going to help you do that. But, yeah, inputs are just going to help you do that. So, yeah, you'll learn about inputs in some other video I'll make. And, yeah, thanks, subscribe, like, and, I hope I helped you.